about events in ATO area in the east of Ukraine. Colonel Lysenko, spokesperson for ATO. Good afternoon, dear colleagues. Yesterday there was a planned withdrawal of ATO forces from Debaltsevo. Despite ultimatum of militants and Russian occupiers to get rid of weapons, to hand equipment and to become military prisoners, Ukrainian military men with honor moved to prepared positions with equipment, weapons and flags. As the president of Ukraine told that yesterday from Debaltsevo left 2,479 75 military men, and they took about 200 units of equipment. Soldiers of Brigade 128, 30th Brigade, 25th Brigade, 40th Brigade, Special Force and National Guards and policemen. President of Ukraine Petro Poroshenko signed a decree to give the name of hero of Ukraine and also awarded the Order Golden Star to the commander of Brigade 128. To Colonel Serhiy Sheptel for heroism during the defense of Debaltsevo. The head of the state gave the award to the hero during the trip to ATO. Near Spissky in Donetsk direction, there was a battle between ATO and militants using mortars, tanks and artillery. They shelled upon positions of National Guards near Shirokino, Volnovakha district. Also militants shelled with artillery upon Novotashkivka in Luhansk region. Since ceasefire, illegal military formations committed 253 shells upon positions of Ukraine. It was counted that since the beginning of ceasefire, and up to the leaving of Ukrainian garrison from Debaltsevo daily on the head per capita, they shelled 580 kilos of death metal as reactive artillery shells, mines, anti-tank guided missiles and other munitions. And during the last day, we lost 14 Ukrainian military men and 172 wounded. According to operational information, the enemy, one more time, is trying to rudely, cruelly neglect Minsk agreements as to exchange swapping war prisoners, and they not want to do to swap all for all, and they refuse their own. But the work to take our guys back home, our soldiers back home, continues. The enemy is active in using drones during the last day. There were, we noticed 14 drones during along the all line of separation last night. There was a meeting of the National Council of Defense and Security. Among decisions, they made an appeal, a request to the UN to send a peace mission. There should be an efficient guarantee of the security of the state under the conditions when Russian pro-Russian militants don't comply with peaceful agreements. Also, the Security and Defense Council they changed to the law on martial law and taking into consideration hybrid war. Also, they decided to set up a military office for more operational coordination of law enforcement bodies. Ukrainian army destroyed pro-Russian militants. They arrested 3 terrorists from DNR gang, and they were trying to move through Ukrainian checkpoint in Mariinska district in Donetsk region. During the examination of the car, SBU found Kalashnikov with cartridges and under-barrel grenade launcher GP-25. They had military documents, IDs issued by DNR. One One of them had a sign for a badge for defense of Slavyansk. National Guards on one checkpoint, they arrested a member of DNR formation, illegal DIMS, and with a nickname Czech. And he participated in the battles as a tank crew and was shooting even in Ilovansk. Recently, he participated in the battles in Shirokino. At his works, Russian troops dislocated in that district. They left military equipment and ammunition, and they left them just without any support. Russia demonstrates that everyone who joined to fight for so-called Russian world is just a cannon meat for the country aggressor. Ukraine improves capability of its armed forces, military repair crews from region. They renovate ammunition for armed forces of Ukraine. Now they have Ukrainian artillery of different caliber. Recently, military repair teams, the maintenance team, they returned self-propelled artillery units, and members of local community, they help also. They allows to to make that ammunition operational quicker. Ukrainian army receives a new soldiers, about 3,000 of them. They take participation in different trainings. And at Rivne test field, Ukrainian officers take a course of improvement course on the base of Kharkiv Polytechnical Institute. During the last 2 weeks with military men, and there will be trainings on driving and combat training, and according to different military professions. The majority of those who came for trainings, they are volunteers. We deliver humanitarian assistance to people who suffered because of terror of adepts of Russian world. In Ukraine, through Red Cross, we received humanitarian cargo from Czech Republic. During then it will go to Donetsk, Luhansk, Kharkiv, and Zaporizhia regions for local hospitals to help IDPs and for people who lost their houses because of battles. And there's a it includes special beds, crutches, wheelchairs, and the rotation from Mariupol. Trained Carpathian policemen who were there for a month, they returned back home. At the same time, a battalion of Ministry of Police, Zolty Vrota, went to the east to Ukraine. They received everything necessary to defend. They received snipers and automatic ammunition, grenade launchers, and automatic guns. And representatives of traffic police from Sumy region, they went to the east. They will guarantee public order. They will try to find criminals. The international community openly states that Russia is an aggressor in a military conflict in Ukraine. Vice Chancellor of Germany, Zygmunt, condemned President of Russia in escalation of the country's response. He's told the responsibility is on Russian Federation and personally on Putin. Head of the Committee on Bundestag for Foreign Affairs, Norbert Röttgen, stated that he doesn't see a difference between the separatists and Moscow, and he told that Russia and Moscow are completely bear responsibility for the battles in the Debaltseve. It was stated that in case of violation of Minsk agreements, countries of European Union, they will introduce tougher sanctions. The embassy of the UK in Ukraine published evidence of presence of Russian forces in Donbass. They pulled in Twitter photo of modern Russian missile systems sponsored that are used by militants in Donbass. Diplomatic agency called Russia to comply with Minsk agreements and to pull back the ammunition from the east of Ukraine. The spokesperson of the White House, Josh Aaron, told that it's clear that supported by Russia, separatists and Russia, They have not complied with their commitments they took during negotiations, and what that they didn't do it, that put them under the threat. They will have to pay more for that. Also, the ambassador of the U.S. in Ukraine, Jeffrey Poet, told that the West has enough of that. It said that in the conflict there are Russian troops. They participate. Russia has two different lines. They want one thing on diplomatic channels, so they act differently on locally. The diplomat told, and he told that the U.S. will continue to support Ukraine in the field of security and in the field of economy. Your questions, please. As to amendments to the law on martial law in Ukraine, what kind of amendments are? What about introduction of martial law or not introduction? Is this issue discussed and on which level? As far as I know, the document was sent to the committee in the parliament for them to work on it, and what kind of amendments they approve, we will find out later after the meeting of that committee, military committee in the parliament. Information about Debaltsevo. Is it true that it is completely under the control of terrorists, and they establish their police, and part of them they move to Luhansk, village Luhansk. After special operation of withdrawal of Ukrainian garrison from Debaltsevo, it's clear that terrorists came to that city, and it's clear that they are doing something, but not clear what. We know that strategic hub, railroad hub stopped its existence the way it was. And it was important for that region. Now it turned into, it's like the surface of the moon now. Everything is destroyed. All tracks, all depot, and the building of the train station. So the city turned into, nobody knows. You cannot call it a city. It's destroyed territory by the shell of terrorists. You know about. I gave you statistics how much of ammunition they per capita on Ukrainian soldier they shelled. It's 580 kilos of ammunition. The operation that we conducted yesterday, it's meant that we were supposed to keep some units there that would protect the withdrawal, defend the withdrawal, and now they do their tasks as to defense and stopping the offense of militants. Do you know how many Ukrainian military became military prisoners during this campaign, withdrawal campaign? And is there exchange of prisoners? Militants refused to swap prisoners, all for all. A number of our soldiers that are in the hands of militants, we don't know. And we'll know that about after negotiations with militants, we'll have a clear idea. Then we'll give you that number. So we don't give approximate numbers. What is happening in direction to Mariupol? There is information that they shell from the sea using automatic guns. We don't have information about. We are verifying that information about shelling from the sea. Not far from Mariupol, they accumulate capabilities near Novozovsk. But we monitor the situation, and it's clear that our soldiers in Shirokino, they also send us intelligence, and they inform about capabilities they prepare for possible offense, and for us to respond to that offense. What are the further steps of Ukraine as to inviting UN mission to Ukraine? The main step is that we need to apply to the UN Security Council for that proposal to be considered. We should send the request, first of all, to them. Two questions about an intensivity of shell, and could you state that it was higher or less? Because in the morning we were informed that they shelled 46 times. It's like during the previous attempts, but casualties are much higher. It's because of the withdrawal. Yes, during the day. During the previous day, we don't have data for the previous day. We have just data for the previous day. During the withdrawal, they were wounded, and we lost some of our soldiers. As to intensity, how could you describe it? Intensity is reduced compared to the previous day. One more verification. You told that the Debaltsevo looks like the surface of the moon. There was information from volunteers that Ukrainian soldiers destroyed critical infrastructure there. Could you confirm that, or is it because of the result of shelling? There was enough of shelling to destroy all infrastructure in that town, so there was no need to explode anything. Thank you very much. Thank you. Next briefing will be about 8 will be tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the morning from spokesperson